When I was a resident, I did a trauma surgery rotation in Cook County, Chicago during a time that gun violence was at an all-time high. And it was so bad that Chicago had implemented a program to escort children to and from school through what they called safe passage corridors to protect them from harm. So treating patients with gunshot wounds was literally a daily occurrence, but one of the most memorable cases from my time there was when a young woman who was pregnant in her third trimester was brought in after she was shot multiple times in her chest, abdomen, and limbs by two men with AR-15s. And we were told that this was a targeted attack because she was the partner of a gang member. So after we resuscitated her in the ER, we took her to the operating room for an emergency C-section, and miraculously the baby was okay, but she required surgical chest tubes on both sides of her chest and also what we call a damage control laparotomy, where her abdomen was surgically opened up, packed with multiple sponges to slow down the bleeding so that we could do surgical repairs of her internal organs in stages over the next days and weeks while we stabilized her with blood products and different medications. So over the next few days, I'm checking the news in Chicago to see if this would be covered, but it wasn't. Something like this would be front page news in Canada. And I told this to one of my co-residents who grew up in Chicago, and she told me that events like this were so common occurrence that news agencies didn't even cover them anymore. And that was shocking to me. So this woman was admitted to the ICU and was in and out of surgeries for the remainder of my time in Chicago. And one day we're rounding on our patients as a team, and my attending, who was a pretty tough looking guy, raised his arm up to scratch his back, and his scrub top lifted just high enough for us to get a glimpse of the handgun that was tucked into the backside of his scrub pants. And I remember looking over to my co-resident and making eye contact with her, and both of us being like, whoa. So I think Americans and Canadians are similar in a lot of ways, but one of the ways that we are fundamentally different is our view on guns.